There's a moment most people don't talk about. It usually happens when everything is quiet. No noise, no distractions. Just you and a thought that feels a little uncomfortable to sit with. What if I just kept living like this for the next 10 years? Same job, same stress, same cycle. And then another thought quietly follows it. Is there a way out sooner than that? Not 30 years from now, not at 60, but in 7 years. And almost instantly your brain rejects it. Not possible. But here's the part most people never actually check. Is it truly impossible, or have you just never seen the math clearly? Most people misunderstand early retirement completely. They think it's reserved for people with insanely high salaries, lucky investments, or some perfect financial plan they don't have access to, so they don't even try. They stay in a system where money comes in and flows out just as fast, and whatever is left, if anything, is called saving. But when you bring the timeline down to 7 years, that illusion breaks, because now guessing doesn't work anymore. You need clarity, and clarity can feel uncomfortable because it forces you to face numbers you've been avoiding. So let's look at it honestly. When you say you want to retire in 7 years, what you really mean is, I want my life to stop depending entirely on my job. Not luxury, not status, just stability, control, breathing room. Let's say your monthly expenses are around 50,000 rupees. Not extreme, just a normal, steady life. To support that without working, you'd typically need a portfolio somewhere around 1.5 to 2 crore, depending on how safely it's invested. And I know the moment you hear that number, something inside you tightens. It feels far away, almost disconnected from your current reality. But that reaction is exactly where most people go wrong, because they focus on the total instead of the path. Your brain sees 2 crore and treats it like a wall, something massive, distant, and unrealistic, so it shuts down the idea completely. But that's not how this works, because you're not building 2 crore in one step. You're building it month by month, and that changes everything. 7 years is 84 months, that's it. 84 decisions, 84 chances to either move forward or stay where you are. Now here's where it becomes real. To reach around 1.5 to 2 crore in that time, even with decent returns, you'd need to consistently invest somewhere in the range of 1 to 1.5 lakh per month. And this is usually the point where people mentally check out, because that number feels heavy, too big, too unrealistic. But pause for a second, because the number isn't the real problem. Your system is. Right now, your money probably works like this. Income comes in, and then life takes its share. Rent, food, EMIs, subscriptions, small upgrades that didn't feel expensive at the time. And whatever's left becomes your investment, which means investing is optional, and optional things don't happen consistently. So when you suddenly ask, can I invest 1 lakh every month? It feels impossible. Not because it is impossible, but because your life isn't designed for it. The people who actually get close to timelines like this don't rely on discipline alone. They redesign how their money flows. They treat investing like a fixed obligation, not a leftover decision. And that forces a shift. Spending becomes intentional. Upgrades slow down. Priorities become clearer. Sometimes income increases, not through working endlessly, but by becoming more valuable. Better roles, smarter opportunities, leverage. Nothing dramatic, just aligned decisions repeated consistently. And then something interesting starts to happen, usually around year 3 or 4. At first, it's barely noticeable. Your investments grow, but slowly. It doesn't feel exciting. It doesn't feel life-changing. But then gradually, the weight starts shifting. Your money begins to do a small part of the work for you. Then a little more, then a little more, until one day you realize your progress isn't coming only from your effort anymore. And that's the moment most people never reach because they quit before this phase begins. At that point, your thinking changes. You stop asking, can I escape my job? And start asking, how much longer do I even need this? Because now you're not starting from zero every month. You're building on something that already exists. And often you realize something surprising. You don't need as much as you thought because your lifestyle has already adjusted. Your expectations are clearer, and your dependence on constant income is weaker. Now, to be honest, not everyone will retire in 7 years. That depends on where you're starting. But that's not the real value of this idea. The real value is what it forces you to see. It shows you the gap clearly and honestly without hiding behind vague goals or someday thinking. Because once you see the gap, you can start closing it. Even if it takes 10 years or 12, that's still far better than drifting for 30 without a plan. So the next time that thought comes up, what would it take to be free? Don't shut it down immediately. Don't label it unrealistic without understanding it. Sit with it. Look at the numbers, not to pressure yourself,
but to understand your reality a little bit better. Because this isn't about chasing a perfect timeline. It's about building a system that slowly gives you more control over your life. And once that starts happening, even in small amounts, you're no longer stuck. You're just in progress.